My name's Henry Calyen. I was in the Army for 3 years with the 82nd Airborne and the 173rd Airborne in Vietnam. And I was born here in December the 9th, 1949. I'm 71 years of age. And integration came here in 1966. And I left Washington School and went to Conroe High, and I graduated from Conroe High in 1968. And my dad was a cannoneer in Italy during World War II. He served from 1942 to 1946. Every afternoon, every morning, every evening, there was a news report, and all they were reporting was the casualties that were happening in Vietnam. And at that particular time, I was a sophomore in high school and didn't have any idea that 2.5 years later that I would be a participant. And a lot of people were saying, don't go to Canada. I thought that America was, at that time, was beginning to boil. When I say boil, it was going to explode with something, because there were protests at the Democratic Convention that year, and they had the Chicago 7, and then they had people getting killed. It was a tough time in America at that time. And even the President Johnson, who was the president, his ratings were so low because of that war, he declined to run again. He said he wanted to bow out of it. There were almost 500,000 soldiers in Vietnam. And you know, you go into a village and sometimes you started getting small arms fire, or sometimes they got the place booby-trapped and you walk in there and, you know, some of your guys get hurt, and you got feelings. We have feelings and we don't like it, so, you know, we retaliate. I went to advanced training for 8 weeks and paratrooper training for 6 weeks. And the next stop was Bang Sang, Vietnam. And I stayed there for 13 months. After that, I came back to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, which is the home of the Airborne. Stayed there until my end of service. I remember the flight there. It was a 26-hour flight, and for the first 3 months that I was there, I was with a line unit. In fact, my unit was the first unit to jump out of the Charlie 5A, which was a C-5A at that particular time. It may still be. It's the world's largest airplane. You had to have 70 jumps to be able to go to Dover Air Force Base to do that. So I ended up having 116. Your tour usually lasts for a year. We started getting what we call short. After you get short, they send you back to the rear. And the rear is where you do different tough jobs that nobody wants to do. You bagging up bodies and you are cleaning latrines out. So I decided I wanted to stay in the patrol, stay out on my regular unit until I got ready to leave. Everybody was saying, well, you're going back to the world. And I came back to Fort Bragg, and it was the difference between night and day. You know, one day you were over on a patrol, and the next day I'm in Fort Bragg, and I'm with guys that new to the military, and you know, they're coming around, and a lot of noise is going on, and you know, Fort Bragg is a real big base, and it kind of blows your mind for a while. Nobody never said thanks. We kind of like expected it, because you would see those things on television, and all of a sudden you realize that you were part of it, and nobody ever said, hey, thanks for serving. But now I put on this cap and I go somewhere, and somebody will walk up and say, hey man, thanks for serving. You know, it means a lot. It means a lot. My mom always had a saying, nothing's free. Nothing's free. Somebody pays for your freedom. Freedom isn't free. Somebody had to pay the cost.